Welcome to the AmeLiaRun channel. My name's AmeLia. Today I will be reviewing the Nike Pegasus 42. This is a shoe I purchased for myself in my size at 8.5M. I got this in wide from Nike's website for $145. Like all my reviews, I'll be discussing the nerdy details for this shoe, as well as its fit, projecting the durability, going into the ride, versatility, and value of this shoe. It is my hope that my reviews can assist runners of all experience levels, regardless of where and when buyers are shopping. All my reviews are time-stamped for easier reference. If you have any questions, concerns, discussions related to this shoe that you want to kind of drop into the comments, I'm more than happy to give those a look and get engaged there with the different discussions. It's greatly appreciated. We've been having quite a few comments recently, and I've been very interested to see, I've had different folks' perspectives regarding maybe like different localities as far as like how much shoes typically run for, as far as price, different experiences as far as, we've had reviews where folks have had like 300 miles out of a shoe that I thought would only last about 100. So those are the kind of discussions I'm like, cool, I really like having our community we got growing here. So I just wanted to take that quick aside to say I really appreciate that engagement. But without further ado, let's dive on into the review. Starting with the nerdy details for this shoe. This is a shoe that was released approximately October of 2025. It is an 8.8 ounce shoe. It has a 37 millimeter heel stack with a 27 millimeter forefoot stack for a 10 millimeter drop. It is blended together with Nike's ReactX foam, as well as what it is very proud to put on at least 3 different spots of the shoe. Air Zoom, full length. What that means is their kind of like foam cushioning system, really focusing on different pressure points depending on the size of the shoe. The idea is to essentially assist that foam with being a good daily trainer. I've actually noticed a lot of success with as an athleisure shoe with that full length Air Zoom, right? You can tell in certain spots where I'm on my feet all day. I can really appreciate kind of those little pressure points on my foot. I notice a little bit extra oomph. Part of that could be in my head, that could be marketing. I get it, but definitely something of note regarding the details of the shoe. It also has a waffle patterned rubber outsole that is iconic for the Pegasus series. It also has a very comfy mesh upper, and as I had mentioned when I was doing the introduction here, it's $145. It is also available in wide sizes. Something interesting is on the Nike website, it says extra wide, but it came as wide. So the website says extra wide, but they really mean wide. It's pretty curious. Talking about how the shoe fits though, I know this series has been notorious for running a little narrow and pretty low in volume. In wide, I actually have had pretty good success even with just the lacing as is. It's not exactly like the highest volume shoe, but in wide, I've actually noticed that the midsole and the toe splay are just right for me. For me personally, the heel felt a little tight, but nothing too bad. Wasn't like any discomfort there for me. I'd be curious what the standard width of the shoe, how that fit for not only myself but for others. But I mean, ultimately, this was a very comfortable shoe to wear all day at work for athleisure. Taking it on runs, everything felt just right as far as fit, so I would say this is probably true to size. If you do have wider feet, it is nice that they do offer some nicer colorways for us fellow wider feet havers. Projecting the durability for this shoe, It's kind of a toss-up. Because for me, at least, it's holding up great. I'm not really going to be planning on putting, 100 miles on this shoe. It's definitely going to be an athleisure shoe for me. It's definitely something I'm going to be wearing to work a lot more often. Because one, it's stylish, and two, again, it's very comfortable at work. As far as running in it, though, I mean, like, it has a lot of rubber protection in spots you want it, like on each side, whether you underpronate, overpronate, right there in the forefoot. Some exposed foam to some extent here in the heel and midfoot. If you're a heel striker, it has a good deal of the rubber here there, but I wouldn't be surprised if this part right here starts to wear. Be curious to see if anybody else has had any experience with the shoe, their thoughts or impressions from durability. Getting into the ride, versatility, and value for this shoe. It's a smooth ride. I really like the rocker on this Pegasus. I will say that it is not the smoothest, so to speak, right? It's not like I'm not writing home that this is like legendary comfort, but it's definitely comfortable. I mean, it gets the job done. I don't mean that in a negative way. It really, I took it out on, I think this first run I took this in was 3 miles. Second one I took it out on was 4. Both times it felt like it handled just right. I'd be a little hesitant to take it past maybe like 5 or 6 miles. Definitely felt some struggles getting this shoe to go uphill when I had to run a hill. I wouldn't take it out for sprints necessarily, but I'm just saying, like, I'm not taking it out for hill strides, but just kind of going up a hill on part of my route. Felt like it didn't have quite enough oomph for that, but it still felt comfortable for just about everything else. As far as versatility, I think this is just squarely as a daily trainer. As cushioned as it is, I don't even necessarily think I would go to this for an easy day. Just because when I think of easy day, I think of max cushion. And, for some folks, if their idea is something like this for an easy day, I get it. Maybe you're used to really light shoes. But as a heavier runner, I don't think I would go for this for my easier miles. Definitely for my daily miles, though. Like I was mentioning too, I don't think it has a lot of like secret sauce to make it go faster or anything. So I'm definitely the wrong operator for that. But I do think that if you want to have a stylish athleisure shoe that you have also as a daily trainer, this is a pretty solid choice. Considering value, this is tough because production costs are as high as they are right now. I've been saying this the last couple of reviews. It's hard to kind of pinpoint, where a shoe is priced versus what we're used to seeing as far as the comparison for that price range. So for $145, this shoe is almost squarely right into the other premium daily trainers that aren't quite, like the super trainers. So, you're thinking of like the ASICS Nova Blast, you're thinking of like, I'm thinking still in the ASICS line of things like their Gel Nimbus. Just taking a quick peek over here, you're looking at like your Hoka Cliftons, your Puma Deviates are a little bit more expensive than that, but maybe like a Puma Magnify or a Puma Velocity, Brooks Hyperion, New Balance Rebel, 1080 B15, also from New Balance, or even like the Adidas Evo SL, or kind of like in that price range. I don't think this is necessarily better than any of those. I do think that Nike does have something going for it where their shoes get discounted pretty quickly, because they're rolling out the next one pretty quick on the Pegasus line. I've seen like Pegasus 41, 40, whenever it was like 6 months in, they went down as low as like $90. I think this is definitely like under $100, definitely worth it. Hard to justify it for $145, especially when you consider that you can bump up for like $160, $170, or even sometimes on sale about this price, if not cheaper, to like the Vomero or the Vomero Plus Premium even. I mean, if you're daring enough to go up to the Super Trainer cost, I think all three of those shoes are definitely better than this shoe here. But that's not to say this is like, you know, a bad shoe, right? It's just you got to know what you're getting into for the price point. Getting into final thoughts for the Nike Pegasus 42. This is a legendary shoe line, just in the sense that, you know, it's been around forever. It's kind of one of those prestige names. I want to love this shoe more. And again, it's not necessarily that I think this is a bad shoe. It's just that I don't think it is good enough to be as competitive as I'd hope it would be. Even within its own family, as I just mentioned, the Vomero Plus, the Vomero Premium, all three of those are better shoes. We have the Pegasus Premium, the Pegasus Plus coming out. Well, Pegasus Plus 2 is coming out, but we have the Pegasus Premium. Nike is in an interesting spot because I think they have their legacy shoe here, but it's also kind of challenging where, you know, like it's, people talk about like different brands kind of have their, maybe not oversaturation, because, you know, everything's like, hey, let me find the one thing that's fine-tuned for me, but it's hard to justify $145 for a Pegasus anymore, folks. Particularly because, again, Nike is doing a great job making new innovations and pushing the envelope for better and better shoes. This is a very attractive shoe, and as far as I know how a lot of Nike shoppers are, I'm not trying to generalize, but, you know, one of the first things you hear folks who buy Nike say is they're stylish, you know, they're relevant, you know, I get compliments on them. That's this shoe. You're gonna get compliments for this shoe. I have had compliments every time I'm wearing this shoe. It has style in mind. It is a athleisure shoe first, in my opinion. It can handle miles. I'm not saying it in an insulting manner. It is completely, or I should say, it is capable of running average distances. I'd say, you know, anywhere up to like 4 or 5 miles. But I don't think that this is a shoe that's going to be, you know, at the top of everybody's favorite shoe list for the year. But that's okay. There's a lot of shoes that come out in any given year. I would say it's my favorite Pegasus for sure. You know, they really widened out that midfoot there. You know, it's definitely more accessible for daily miles. It's something I really appreciate there. Be curious to see what you all think, though. For anybody who's had the Pegasus 42, what are your thoughts on it? Maybe you had Pegasus in the past. What kind of swayed you to or not to purchase this one? Just let me know in the comments there. Hope you're all staying healthy and safe. See you all next video.